All right, in this final assessment, we looked at the glucose levels, just like how I did before with the clarified liquid that would sit on top of this more dense, this purplish, pinkish kind of mixture, this, the liqueur part of this fermentation process between the yeast, the instant or fast-acting, rapid-acting yeast, and the grape juice. So what we had here is we had three different samples, 1, 4, and 7, meaning that 1 had the balloon, number 4 was open to the environment, number 7 was closed but vented, and here were the end point glucose levels as measured with the meter, just like how I did before, and there's an example test strip. So the one with the balloon had about almost 200 mg per deciliter, while the one that was exposed to the atmosphere had a higher content of glucose, about 210, and then the one where we had it closed but vented was a little bit less, 188 mg per deciliter, relative to the balloon flexible system there, where any kind of gases that were produced were allowed to expand into the balloon, then they were able to redissolve into the fermented mixture there. What this shows us is that some of the glucose that was present in the grape juice was not effectively fermented by the yeast if it was in the open container. And that may lend itself to more, perhaps, of a sweeter kind of profile. Whereas the one that was closed but vented also, reduced some of that product, the air product, a little less glucose. So fermentation might have actually, proceeded fairly well, whereas in the balloon, it also did fairly well. I just want to say that I looked at 3 measurements per each of these samples, number 4, number 1, and number 7. Each one of them was the average then, all these glucose of 3 measurements. So that's what you get in about a week of leaving yeast with grape juice alone to ferment in a sealed but vented container, an open container, or a flexible container to the environment.